On the news tonight, Ondo State government reiterates commitment to factual information dissemination, tax journalists on professionalism. Yoruba Council worldwide demands public apology from ex-president Obasanjo for disrespecting traditional institution. Over 500 rights groups petition Women Affairs Minister over insensitive comments on sexual harassment victims.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7 on Osrc television. I am Oyewumi Ayinibara. The Ondo State government has reaffirmed its commitment to prioritizing the welfare of members of the noble profession of journalism who are on its payroll to guarantee their optimal performance at all times. The State's Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Mrs. Bamidele Ademola Olateju, at a get-together organized by the State Information Chapel of Nigeria Union of Journalists NUJ in Akure, the state capital, also stressed the need for information managers to see themselves as brand ambassadors of the Sunshine State. Our correspondent Kunle Ario reports.
It was our time for the pen pushers to drop their working tools and unwind in a relaxed atmosphere. The get-together was also to meet minds and chart a new course for the journalists under the employment of Ondo State government. The Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Bamidele Ademola Olateju, tasked the information officers to always uphold the truth while discharging assigned duties in their respective beats, noting that opinions are free but facts are sacred. The #1 image maker of the state government also gave an insight of the expectation of the present administration from the information managers, saying it is pertinent for them to project the image of the entire state as well as the principal officers at their respective ministries, departments and agencies.
Truth is constant, right? Yeah. And every time we work, we should respect the truth, especially these days when there are alternative facts, when truth is being sacrificed. So I'm happy you are here celebrating with yourselves, celebrating that the year is coming to an end, but truth is not coming to an end.
The Administrative Secretary of the Ministry, Mrs. Tony Onishile, encouraged the officers to enhance their capacity by joining relevant professional bodies that would easily facilitate their training and retraining on the job.
Let's belong to organizations that will enhance our productivity. I need only to travel, get a conference at the conference, and meet with other people and share ideas with them.
Delivering a lecture on the topic, Information Officers, the roles, the relevance in modern information technology, the resource person and Director of Electronic and New Media in the Ministry, Mr. Williams Olufumi, harped on the need for officers and the Ministry to leverage on the opportunities provided by various social media platforms to advance the course of information gathering and dissemination so as to raise the bar of image projection of Ondo State.
We're talking about technology, we're talking about ICT, and we're talking about the social media. And you know that exactly is the currency of our time. And that exactly is what will carve a niche for us in our various departments, in our various agencies, wherever we are and whatsoever we do.
Also speaking on the topic, leadership strategies for managing and enhancing personnel development, a director in the ministry and Ondo Service Improvement Program Ambassador, Ms. Adelia Wobemi, emphasized the need for information managers to comport themselves as leaders in their offices, discharge their duties with discretion and respect for diverse opinions, as well as be team leaders in mentoring subordinates, even as reminded them to be conscious of public service etiquette in every situation. The chairman of the union, Ayo Falano, remarked that the gathering was mainly for merriment and relaxation. It is equally an opportunity to draw the attention of management in the ministry to certain issues that could impede the productivity of officers. He also made a strong case for the resuscitation of the ministry's bulletin while reiterating the readiness of information officers to discharge their duties with renewed vigor. Kunle Aruyo, West House News.
Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osrc State has issued a performance monitoring template for cabinet members with a warning that there will be no protection for anyone caught violating the law. Adeleke at the Maiden State Executive Council meeting where the 25 commissioners and 10 special advisors were seated lamented the lack of continuity in some of the policies and programs the administration initiated within its first 100 days in office since the cabinet members took charge. The governor also urged the cabinet members to uphold public finance regulations and due process in their submission and memorandum to the council. He also tasked them to embrace due diligence in projects conception and design, as bogus project estimation could land sponsors in trouble. The governor equally cautioned them against activities that would portray the government as seeking to serve a privileged few instead of the masses. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Rivers State has called on Daniel Mbwala, spokesperson for the presidential candidate of the party in the last general elections, Atiku Abubakar, to stop the persistent advertisement of his ignorance about the party. The party said contrary to the insinuation that the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, was working in the National Union of Road Transport Workers (NURTW) motor park when Atiku and others were found in the PDP. The former governor of Rivers State had been practicing law before venturing into politics. The legal advisor of PDP in Rivers State and former secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) Port Harcourt branch, Chief Kingsley Chukwu, told journalists in Abuja that Bwala's obsession with anything about Wike was becoming more like a display of graduation of a mindset from psychology. While informing Bwala that he was ignorant of the invaluable contributions of the Wike to the PDP, the party said its light would shine again and Rivers State would do what it had always done for the major opposition party. The Yoruba Council Worldwide has described as sacrilegious former President Olusegun Obasanjo's ordering of traditional rulers in Oyo State to stand and greet Governor Seyi Makinde at the project inauguration in Iseyin, Oyo State. In a short video, Obasanjo had expressing displeasure to the monarchs for not rising to greet Makinde, describing the action of the royal fathers as disrespectful to the office of the governor. Describing the development as depressing and disrespectful to the Yoruba people, the council urged Obasanjo to apologize or face untold traditional and legal consequences. The YCW president, Oba Oladotun Hassan, during a press conference held in Abuja, frowned at the action of former president and asked him to apologize within the next 3 days or face legal reprisal consequences, not limited to filing action at a court of competent jurisdiction for defamation and scandalous libel, as well as stripping him off of all chieftaincy titles conferred on him by any Yoruba monarch. In the same vein, the Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdulrasheed Akanbi, has competent ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo for ordering traditional rulers in Oyo State to stand and greet Governor Seyi Makinde at a project inauguration in Iseyin, saying the action was tantamount to the discrediting of Yoruba traditionals too. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break, Akure Magistrate Court remands farmer in Olokuta for beheading colleague. Please do join us then.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Coffee! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat the guy. We'll see about that.
it's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Glad to know you're still watching. So you can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Transportation is not just a vital aid to trade but also a critical hub for commercial networking, economic revival, as facilitating global investment opportunities. Infrastructure decay and administrative deficiency, among other inadequacies, have however taken a heavy toll on Nigeria's transport sector, such that its advantages and potentials appear insignificant when compared with its numerous challenges, a situation which prompted us to engineer, restructure, and rebranding the sector. In this special report, our correspondent Joy Pius takes a look at a recently unveiled Lagos Blue Rail and asks whether its replication in other states can set a new dynamics in the movement of goods and services across the country.
The first railway construction by the British colonists in this part of the world was opened on October 3, 1912, to facilitate the flow of goods from the hinterlands to the coast. Later on, the Lagos Government Railway and the Barrow-Kano Railway were amalgamated, paving the way for a nationwide rail service under the name Government Department of Railways. With the passing of the Nigerian Railway Corporation Act of 1955, the company gained its current name as well as the exclusive legal right to construct and operate rail service in Nigeria. However, long years of neglect by successive governments threw a spanner of instability in the rail transportation, which in turn affected the economy adversely. A ray of hope later manifested under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration as modern coaches were put in place with the collaboration of Chinese government. With a population of over 20 million residents, Lagos State is not just Nigeria's economic nerve city but 5th largest economy on the continent. Lagos roads have become synonymous with chaotic traffic, forcing commuters to spend several productive hours in transit, brought about by gridlock, and that's why many inhabitants heave a sigh of relief with the coming on board of the Blue Rail Line. The Blue Rail Line, which is an electric rapid transit line, was conceived as an innovative mode of intra-city commuting with the specific aim of transitioning the state away from its heavy reliance on road transportation, for which Lagos has been renowned for decades. Upon completion of the second phase of the project, the rail would carry no fewer than 500,000 passengers daily. Respondents who spoke to OSRC said apart from easing the strain on the overstressed country's road network, rail transportation is faster, safer, cheaper, and more reliable.
As we know, Lagos State is responsible for 30% of the nation's GDP. And so the importance of infrastructure, particularly transportation, cannot be overemphasized. We also know for a fact that about 10% of the nation's population resides in Lagos. And so because of this, the rail system that has just been embraced in Lagos is going to help in terms of the economic development of the state and our nation at large. For instance, most of the low-income workers that work in high-brow area of Lagos, like Victoria Land, Ikoyi, and Lekki, they live in some suburb very far, very far. And so with these rail services that is now being made available, it will now be very, very easy for them to commute and get back to their various places of work. The spillover of the system in Lagos will definitely get to places like Ogun State, and to some extent, we will be able to also reap the benefits here in Ondo State. So, as far as I'm concerned, I believe that it's a step in the right direction, and I believe that it's going to jumpstart the economic of Lagos State.
I think it's about the smallest state in terms of land mass in Nigeria. It has a land mass of about 3,200 square meter plus. For the state to have had population that is over 10 million, estimatedly, it needs something of that nature. In fact, more should come so as to ease transportation issue within the Lagos metropolis. It will increase somehow in the long run GDP, okay, because it directly affects our local economy. If it does that, by implication, it will improve marginally. It could be insignificantly on the national GDP.
Nigeria transport sector, notwithstanding its diverse potentials, has been limited in scope of air, road, and sparsely water. With the inroads made in the Blue Rail in Lagos, what are the possibilities of other states in the southwest, including Ondo State, tapping into its gains?
Now Ondo State, we can now legislate. Already we have a bill. Legislate, we have a department now in the Ministry of Transport, a department of railway system. So, in a bid to make every state to have access to working and functional railway system, so they've taken it from the exclusive list. It's now under the concurrent. Both federal government and the state, we can come together. The state can legislate, like education. We had a regional conference within the western region of Nigeria. We came together that we should, through regional integration, that the western region, the whole western region, including Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Osun, that we should look at how we can achieve immediate railway development through Down Commission. Ondo State alone cannot just jump. We want to have interconnectivity through rail system within the region. Let's start from there.
It is believed that with the latest advancements in technology, diversification of the transportation sector, especially embracing modern rails and water shuttle, should be the priority of government at all levels, so the country could overcome the perennial problems of unnecessary delay in delivery of goods and services, insecurity, road carnages, among others. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Reactions have continued to trail the plan by the Ondo State Universal Basic Education Board to henceforth base the promotion of public primary school teachers on pupils' performance. Some stakeholders argue that failure of a child at a given citadel of learning at any point in time should not be blamed on tutors, as several factors come into play in determining assimilation of knowledge and academic brilliance. Omoriola Mbiji reports that the SUBEB chairman, Victor Olabinton, however, insisted that it will no longer be business as usual for public school teachers as far as the promotion exercise is concerned.
A 3-year statistical analysis of pupils' results reveals that there is a constant decline in the performance of pupils writing common entrance examination into the public schools in Ondo State. The analysis shows that pupils that scored 40% and above declined from 81% in 2021 to 76% in 2022 and 74.6% in 2023, throwing the state into an average of 3.5% annual decline. Elementary education is where children learn to read and write and also learn the fundamental concepts in science and mathematics, as well as gaining a basic understanding of the world and history. Learning at this stage requires quality training by quality teachers in preparing the pupils to confront the challenges of secondary education. Chairman, Ondo State Universal Basic Education Board, Victor Olabinton, while lamenting the decline in performance of candidates in the common entrance examination in the state annually, said adequate measures would be taken to address the decline.
We are going to sign the performance contract. It's going to be based on performance. Gone are the days where they just say everywhere we move all of them. Everything now will now be based on performance.
Mr. Olabinton was categorical about the penalty that awaits any teacher found wanting in terms of quality performance, said the era of automatic promotion is gone.
The government of Ondo State has invested a lot in education, particularly basic education. Government has invested. There must be a return. And what is the return? Output. What are these output? The children, the pupils that are put under them. They must be very brilliant, they must be okay, they must pass public examination, they must be doing well. Their salaries are paid as at when due. I hear some people say there is backlog of salary. Not in Ondo State. We train them in Nepal, we train them in every other place, and very soon now we are going to train another batch of 1,200 teachers.
Reacting, the Nigerian Union of Teachers, through its acting secretary, Mrs. Felicia Ogunjobi, acknowledged efforts of the state government in promoting standard of education. She, however, disagreed with the decision of SUBEB chairman to hold teachers responsible solely for pupils' poor performance in common entrance examination.
It cannot be shifted onto them because failure of a child is determined by so many factors. It might be child himself, it might be due to the environment, it might be due to teachers, it might be due to the parents and government. So it cannot be shifted to the teachers alone that maybe children are having low performances or whatever. We will still continue to do our best as teachers because we are eating from that place, and the hand that is feeding us cannot be beaten.
Chairman, Ondo State Parent Teachers Association, Abimbola Omoloja, said more teachers are needed to complement government's efforts, while parents must also rise up to their responsibility.
We don't have enough teachers, both in the primary and in the secondary schools. So the government is at fault. The teachers, they are doing their best, but they are handicapped. And the parents, to the best of my ability, I tell them, apart from the fact that most of them who are illiterate don't money for their children.
In 2021, Ondo State government recruited 1,000 primary school teachers, coupled with renovation of school buildings across the state. As much as government is providing a conducive environment for teaching and learning, it behoves teachers to do their part in achieving the common goal of laying good academic foundation for pupils as future leaders. Omoriola Mbiji, Osrc News.
A coalition of over 500 women's rights organizations under the aegis of Women Festo has called on the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, to tender a public apology for allegedly working against the interests of women in Nigeria. The group was reacting to the statement credited to the minister in a viral video concerning the recent sexual harassment scandal. utterances and body language on the matter leave much to be desired. The petitioners, while noting that copies of the warning letter have been forwarded to President Bola Tinubu, Office of the First Lady, Attorney General of the Federation, as well as anti-corruption watchdogs, said no effort will be spared in taking further lawful actions that may affect the minister's position if she did not do the needful by tendering a public apology and retracting her threats to the student. No fewer than 33 people who were kidnapped in Akari local government area of Bauchi State have been rescued by the Joint Security Task Force operating in the council area. They were kidnapped a few days ago by gunmen who took them into the forest, awaiting payment of ransom from the families. However, following the directive of the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, who hails from the local government area, the Joint Security Task Force engaged the bandits and secured the release of all the victims ill and hearty. While receiving the 33 kidnapped victims from the security operatives in Yanwan Duguri, the caretaker chairman of the Akaleri Council area, Bala Mahmood, commended the security agencies for the quick response to the incident. He added that the 33 victims will undergo medical checkups to ensure their perfect health status before they are handed over to their families. An Ondo State Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Akure has ordered the remand of Imam Sunday Clement in prison custody for allegedly killing a farmer, Taye Olatoye. Following the incident, the 24-year-old laborer defendant was arrested by the men of the State Police Command and arraigned in court on a one-count charge of murder. The defendant was said to have killed the deceased on his way to the farm at Ofosu community in Idore local government area of the state earlier this month. It was gathered that on the fateful day, Clement and Olatoye were both going to the farm when he suddenly moved backward, removed his sharpened cutlass and cut the victim on his neck, leaving his head dangling. According to the prosecutor, Mary Adebayo, the defendant committed the offense contravened Section 316 and 319 of the Criminal Code Law of Ondo State 2006. In a ruling, the Chief Magistrate Folashade Aduroja ordered the remand of the defendant in prison and directed that the case file be sent to the Office of Director of Public Prosecution for advice, while adjourning the matter to November 28, 2023. In sports, Liverpool overcame a sluggish first half display against Wolves to win 3-1 at the Monex earlier today. The hosts dominated the first half and decidedly opened the scoring when Ang Eng-chan fared home at the far post